This is me, taking one last look before jumping some 25 feet to the rushing water below. In some ways, this moment represents much more than it seems. My name is Bryce. Like many other people in the world, I've grown up with a question in my mind. What am I called to be and do with my life? I have my passions. I enjoy playing music, acting, and traveling as a freelance videographer. We are in the truck on the way back to our hotel. However, my life still feels like a work in progress. Like many people in today's fast-paced world, I wonder if my decisions and direction in life are on track. These questions have led me to something unique, something that up until a year or two ago, I had no idea even existed. A special sacrament that the community of Christ offers, called the Evangelist Blessing. The story of my Evangelist Blessing begins with an idea. After requesting some information on how to obtain an Evangelist Blessing, a close family friend of mine recommended that I get in touch with someone that they thought would be a solid match for me. Trusting in their judgment, I arranged an initial phone meeting before leaving town for a month's worth of travel and filming. This is my last night in good old Blue Springs, Missouri, before heading out to Honduras. Of course, last night it decided to snow and ice a little bit, figures, and the sunset has done something very nice. This is kind of a pretty color. I don't know if the camera can see it. But at this moment, actually right now, I am in the middle of packing up all my stuff and heading down to Central America. I don't know, I guess the best way to do this is to just jump into it. And that's really what the process is all about, is being as honest as you can about all of this, about what I'm feeling and what my expectations are right now in life. And as you can see, it looks like a tornado has come through here because I'm tearing things up, looking for pieces that I know that I wanted to pack, or a shirt here or there, or things like that. And so things feel kind of crazy hectic right now. Which I think is a perfect reflection of how this blessing is going to play into my life. That I have these moments of extreme chaos where it's go, 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 like get the projects done, film as much as you can, get out of town, get out of the country, go do something like that, when I feel like there's so much that I should probably focus on here. Every time I'm home and I come into my bedroom, I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I really need to organize this. I really need to just give myself a day or two just to focus on this one room of my apartment. We'll see. We'll see. I'd say, a year from now, we'll see where things are in my life. And if I feel like I have a better handle on the state of things. Hello?
Bryce?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Dean White.
Hey, Dean, how are you?
I'm good. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm a little curious to know a few things about you. So I take it from your area code. First of all, you're in the Kansas City area.
Yeah. I'm from Independence. During my first conversation with Dean, I realized something. That this process, this evangelist blessing, was going to be unlike any spiritual experience I had ever had before. The relationship would be close and personal. The things that I would learn about myself would be revealing and at times a bit scary. But most of all, I would be sharing with Dean in a deeply meaningful journey.
Yeah, I've evolved, I guess, a sense that a blessing is a way of tuning into the influence of whatever we regard as sacred. As a way of helping us to understand how the direction our life should take. And and that frequently involves setting aside one's own ambitions or expectations and asking about, where we fit in as people to the larger scheme of things. So that's kind of the frame that I bring to this whole experience. I don't know whether that's a good way to think about it or not, but right now that's the way that I do. And so I guess I'd be curious to know whether that approach, how you feel about that approach.
I'd say I agree. I've been trying to let go of things that going into this process, pre-made ideas of what I should or where I will go and things like that. And I know that the blessing isn't going to be something that specifically tells me you go here and you do this and this is what will happen. But trying to be as open as I can about receiving what is given to me. This is Honduras. I've been here for a few days now. I'm really excited to get back and share this experience with Dean. Let him know what it was like, get his opinion on it. So, we've been here building a church. They had the walls up and part of a roof up when we got here. And we put sheet metal on it. We've been laying dirt and sand and concrete for the base. There's something very, very real about it, and it's good to get outside of that mindset that I had at home. And I think this has given me good perspective on the blessing and things that I'd like to share with Dean about myself and my experience with my work. I don't know, that's all I got for now. I'm gonna try to do some more kind of video entries before I leave here. We're going to a few other locations after this. I think it's going to be awesome. I really do. Hola.
Hola.
Sometimes it takes stepping out of your comfort zone to really see the bigger picture. For me, the relationships and experiences that I began to capture on these trips started to open my eyes to the importance of human relationships. I was using one of my passions, video, to share these positive happenings with the bigger human family. The things that I saw were people helping people, genuine acts of kindness that came from a place of compassion and love.
This is the way out of San Pedro Sula, Honduras. It's been an amazing time. The culture was incredible, the experience was incredible. These things are going to live with me for a long time to come. I'm really excited to get back and share some of these experiences with Dean. So for the rest of the day, we will be traveling, and then I'll be home tonight, getting ready for the next batch of airport visits to come. Well, welcome to the new office. It doesn't look like much right now. We are moving everything in, as you can see, painting walls, making it inhabitable for us and for the video work that I do. So this is kind of an exciting time. I've been thinking a lot about what the next things I want to talk to Dean about are, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, like, where's this blessing gonna go, and what is it gonna tell me that I don't already sort of have a sense of within myself. And I hope that there's something that comes out of it that surprises me. I've really been thinking about that lately. I hope that I don't just, it's weird to explain. Like, I don't want just my own ideas to be confirmed by it. That'd be nice if they do. That's part of it. But at the same time, I want something new out of it, a new direction, a new aspect of my life and where I'm going. I want that to be revealed through this process.
Hello.
Hey Dean, it's Bryce.
Hi, Bryce. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Well, so you've been traveling, huh?
Yeah, quite a bit. Actually now I guess I've been home for...
From the start, this conversation was different. It was apparent that something had already began to develop between Dean and me. We no longer talked about our backgrounds or where we'd come from. This time it was about exploring life, about what was happening right now. We talked about my travels, about Dean's life, and about how we were feeling at this point in the blessing. Towards the end of the conversation, we decided it was time to arrange a meeting, face to face.
What does your kind of mid-April look like?
So I've got, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to mention it too. Actually, my wife and I are coming out to the Midwest. We're coming out, we're flying into Kansas City on April 7th, I think it is. But so my point about that is I feel like, I can make some time available on both ends of that trip when I pass through Kansas City to just connect up there as well. Well, so are you going to be in town, though, on the two ends of my trip out there?
Yeah, I would. So we could still get together and just kind of meet in person then. And I'd be in town all of that time, I believe.
I think it's important to emphasize something here. The way in which my evangelist blessing happened was unique. Not everyone's process will unfold this way, but that is the key. Everyone's individual experience with the evangelist blessing is meant to be unique. It's about you. And as for me, well, I was about to meet Dean for the first time.
Dean?
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well. So I think we'll do it out
This is our
here.
setting.
Yeah, but do we want to grab something to drink first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do you want to sit?
I'll sit over there on that side. So it's been a lot.
As Dean and I began to talk, I realized that our relationship was growing. I was confiding in him. I felt as if this conversation was not separate from all the previous ones, but a continuation. Dean remembered things I had expressed before. We talked. We laughed. But most importantly, we shared ourselves with each other. A couple weeks later, Dean was passing through town again. We met up for some pizza in our final face-to-face conversation before the blessing was to take place. Even though at this point I'd only known Dean for a few months, it felt as if we had been friends for years. At the end of this conversation, we decided to set a time for me to visit Dean in Washington for the final step in the blessing process. At some point in our final conversation, it hit me. This is it. This is what all the preparation, all the sharing, all the communication up to this point had been leading to. Dean and I took our time. We developed a relationship with each other and with God.
So, Bryce, I'm going to lay my hands on your head and bring you a blessing that
God has commissioned me in my priesthood office of evangelist to provide to you at your request. I'm going to be using language of prayer initially and then speaking to you in the first person. Do not imagine that I view myself as speaking as if I were speaking from God. I am speaking to you as I have discerned the words that I think would be of help and comfort to you, and so treat them accordingly. Almighty God, the giver of all good gifts, I thank you for the joy of sharing in your sacrament of blessing with Bryce, who comes to you seeking insight into his life's many choices. Give your grace to Bryce and to me, so that I may speak with care and humility, and he listen with an open heart and a generous mind. Fill us with the light of truth, and clothe us with love, that we may, in sharing this sacrament of blessing, faithfully serve you to the glory of your great name and for the benefit of your creation and your community.
My blessing took place on Saturday, June 16th, 2012. The things that were given to me in my evangelist blessing far exceeded what I had expected or even hoped. They revealed what had been hidden and continued what had been started.